Hello, this is the Mughal Empire by Ashley and Summer. Narrated by me, Brandon.
And Dylan.
And Daniel.
Slide 2.
Babur, who expanded the Mughal Empire into North India, was a descendant of Genghis Khan. He conquered Kabul in one of his conquests because he was jealous of the grand cities, and so he took over Kabul in Afghanistan in 1504. And then he ruled for a bit, and then he had a son named Humayun who ruled from 1530 to 1556, but he didn't have quite the military strategies and equipment he had. And an officer who was in command when Babur was alive, or when he was king, kind of banished him in 1538, and Sher Shah Suri kind of banished him, and he made mosques, forts, and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. And then he died in 1545.
The reign of Akbar, 1542 to 1605, came to power in 1556. Akbar is regarded as one of the great rulers of India history because he is one of only a few who was able to unite almost all the area of India under his empire. Akbar used the existing Delhi Sultanate ruling policies in order to easily include new regions into his empire-building projects. The most powerful indigenous ruling group of the time was Rajputly incorporated into the structure of Mughal Empire under Akbar's expansion into Rajasthan and central and western India. Akbar was interested in religions and championed teaching known as Din-i-Ilahi, or divine faith. Akbar welcomed from Hindu, Jain, Buddhist, Jainism, and Zoroastrian influence.
Following Akbar's death in 1605, his son Jahangir came to power in the Mughal Empire. Jahangir ruled from 1605 to 1628 and largely followed in the steps of his father's great accomplishment, without adding much of his own. Shah Jahan, though he was Jahangir's third son, asserted his authority and military strength in early life in order to claim the rule of the empire when his father died in 1628. Like his grandfather Akbar, Shah Jahan's contribution to Mughal Empire have been considered some of the greatest achievement in India history. In addition to his military might, Shah Jahan asserted his authority over the empire by undertaking the construction of some of India's architecture, like the Red Fort, Agra Fort, Jamia Masjid in Delhi, and the Wazir Khan Masjid. Shah Jahan ordered the construction of the Taj Mahal in the city of Agra as a tribute to his beloved wife Mumtaz Mahal. Aurangzeb's ascension to the throne was much more contentious and violent. In 1657, Aurangzeb imprisoned his father Shah Jahan in Agra Fort and claimed authority over the empire. Aurangzeb struggled with his tenure as emperor and has been credited with the weakness of the Mughal Empire upon entering the 18th century.
The Mughal system of rule and growing threats to authority. Sher Shah Suri created an initial administrative hierarchy of authority that Akbar was able to easily refine when he came to power. Akbar, in working with local elites, crafted the Mansabdari system. One such challenge was Shivaji Bhonsle, 1627 to 1680. A chieftain of central and western India, Shivaji proved to be Aurangzeb's greatest adversary, unwilling to submit to the power of the Mughals. Shivaji and other Maratha chieftains developed close relationships with the peasants they ruled in alliances with the sultans of the Deccan Plateau. In addition to the Marathas and Deccan Sultanates, the Mughal Empire faced growing tensions with Europeans who operated trade ports.
The Portuguese were the first to establish substantial trade routes from India to the rest of the world. They instituted processes through which they could guarantee their success and control of key India ports, such as the Corteza system, which was similar to the permit system that required all trade ships and goods to go through the Portuguese. In effect, by 1515, the Portuguese controlled all trade, particularly the spice trade. They had to go around the southern tip of the subcontinent.
This are traders, and this is Vasco da Gama. The Dutch. As the Portuguese declined, the Dutch East India Company rose to replace it. By the middle of the 1600s, the Dutch had taken almost all the Portuguese settlements. During this time, the Dutch commanded almost of the southern coast of India, southeastern coast of India, known as the Coromandel Coast, giving them direct access to trade with Southeast Asia. The Dutch also established a presence in Gujarat around the time that the Portuguese secured Diu. The Dutch traded out of Surat, bringing prized Gujarat textiles and dyes like indigo to Southeast Asia. On the other side of the subcontinent, the Dutch built up trade from Bengal, where silk and very thin textiles were quite popular. This is an example of thin textile and the old Dutch flag.
Though the British didn't establish themselves as early as the Portuguese or the Dutch, they made key decisions in planting their legitimacy on the subcontinent of India. Since the Portuguese had been operating at the closed private trade port of Diu from 1535, the British moved to the competing city of Surat, where the Dutch and other traders from around the world already were. And in 1600, the Queen Elizabeth chartered the East India Company as a joint stock company. Though very risky and very innovative, it created a company with very little liability, but it had the limited resources of the British monarchy, backed all enemies of the EIC. The British fought in the Battle of Swali with the Portuguese, which was kind of like a trade battle, but what it really did, it really reinforced the fact that the British were kind of in control of the trade.
So this is the Battle of Swali and the British flag. So this is a timeline from the year 1498 to 1658.
So in 1498, Vasco da Gama arrived in India, and he was the first Portuguese explorer to arrive in India. So we skip to 1658. In 1658, Shah Jahan is imprisoned in Agra Fort by Aurangzeb, and Aurangzeb came to rule in 1658.
So this is two maps, a map of Central Asia and a map of just India. So if you want to look,
look.
The end, thank you. And credits to Academic Resources, PDF, and Social Science.
Study guide.
Bills.